read 70 books so far this year. Let's talk about my favorite from each month. Hi, I'm Lacey, I love to read. Thanks for coming to my channel. I have read a variety of genres, over 70 books this year. That includes thrillers, historical fiction, literary fiction, fantasy, dystopian, romance. Honestly, if it is a genre, I've probably read it, excluding nonfiction, but I actually did read nonfiction this year. Yep. Anyways, so I thought it'd be fun to talk about my favorite book from each month. And I was very strict with myself, except for March. I do have 12 books. I'm not including December. So without further ado, let's talk about my favorite book from January. In January, I read The 7-Year Slip, and it has changed my life. I won't stop talking about this book. I'm so sorry. I don't know if I ever will. I'll try. I won't. So here I am again. I have The 7-Year Slip. Ashley Poston. Amazing book. 5 stars. 326 pages. It is beautiful. It is a magical realism romance that is about Clementine and Ewan, and they end up meeting in her aunt's old apartment. And Ewan is actually from 7 years in the past. And Clementine never knows when she's gonna open the door and it's gonna send her back into the past. But when she does, those moments are so magical and they're so special. This book is just a breath of fresh air. It is about grief, it is about love, it is about timing. It's beautiful and I love it so much, and I will not stop talking about it. So just if you are here, just prepare to continue to hear about it. I did bedazzle it. It's beautiful. I love her. I will be rereading it in 2026, but until then, it's amazing and I'm very grateful January brought me this book. Then we went to February and I read a pink book. It really is just very festive for the month, and I read The Grace Year. Loved it so much. This book is amazing. It's 408 pages. I rated it 5 stars, and honestly, it's so good. This book is a speculative YA thriller. I feel it's also kind of dystopian. It is just so good. It is about Gardner County, and in Gardner County, girls, when they turn 16, have to enter their grace year, where they send all the 16-year-olds in Gardner County to a secluded area to survive for a year. They say because you need to give up your magic. You will be the judge of that. This book is so good. It follows Tierney, and Tierney is not a part of this popular girl group. And so when she goes on her grace year, she's been trying to gather information about it as much as she can, but no one talks about it. And also, not every person who goes comes back alive. You get to follow Tierney's grace year and her thoughts, her feelings, what is going on, how she's bonding or separating from these 16-year-old girls who are all in a very isolating situation. And it's so good. It is so good. I flew right through it. It was one of our book club picks, which is actually funny because the first 2 books I'm talking about are book club picks, and I guess we know how to pick them. But I just love this book. I think it is so interesting and well done, and it has so many layers to it. Like, it is so, so, so good. And I always talk about this when I talk about this book, but the first 2 quotes you'll see are from Handmaid's Tale and Lord of the Flies. And if you read Lord of the Flies as a kid, I think that this book would be one that is right up your alley because it is absolutely wild, but absolutely amazing. And then we move on to March, and March is where I decided to make an exception because once you see, like, how can I choose between these 2? So the first one I have is Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins. This book is 382 pages, 5 stars. I have a reading vlog. It is Haymitch's story. It is the 50th Quarter Quell Hunger Games. It is when they decided to reap 4 children from each district instead of 2. It's absolutely heartbreaking and devastating and amazing and everything that we've been wanting from Haymitch's story. I literally cannot wait until the movie comes out. I have like an obsession with Songbirds and Snakes. I love that movie so much. I just know I'm gonna love this movie as well. I read Hunger Games as a middle and high schooler. I'm reading this as an adult, and wow, like, I love the nostalgia I get. I just love, as sad as it is, I do love being in District 12, and I just think these books are so worth the read, and I just could not choose between this book and the next one for my favorite for March because how can I not pick this book? So following that up, I also read The Berry Pickers by Amanda Peters in March. I couldn't decide. I'm so sorry. I just cannot decide between the 2. This book is 304 pages. I rated it 5 stars. Such a beautifully written historical fiction book. I flew right through it, which is not something that happens every time I read historical fiction. I was hooked from the first chapter. It is so beautiful. This book is about an Indigenous family who goes from Nova Scotia to Maine every year to pick blueberries. And one time that they go to Maine, the daughter disappears. Ruthie is nowhere to be found, and the last person who saw her was her brother Joe. So this book follows Joe. And it also follows Norma. And Norma grew up in an affluent family in Maine, and she knows that something is being hidden from her parents. She starts to have these very vivid dreams and recollections, but she doesn't know what to do with them. And it has both of their timelines. It's so beautiful. There are definitely a lot of hard moments in this book for both characters, but wow, it's beautiful and they wrap it up so beautifully. I love this book. I cannot say enough good things, and I just truly couldn't pick because these two books were so different, but they're both so amazing, and I just can't say no, okay? Then we're moving on to April, and in April I read A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J Maas. This humongous book is the second book in the ACOTAR fantasy series. It is 626 pages. It is a 5-star read. Chapters 54 and 55, they did not lie to you. They're here and they're amazing. This book is so good. It follows Feyre and Rhysand after the debacle of Feyre being in the Spring Court. It is so good. I am someone who absolutely swore off fantasy. I swore off ACOTAR, and now that I have read it, I understand why so many people like it. I understand why it's such an accessible fantasy series to so many people. I really just love this book. It obviously took me like a little bit to get through, but not because it wasn't good, but because it was so good I just didn't want to finish. It was just the lead up to the relationship, and I just loved it so much. We're halfway there because now we are in May, and I know it's not halfway of the year, but it's halfway of my 12 books. I read Caught Up by Liz Tom 40. This book made me so mad that I held off on reading the Windy City series for so long because I read Mile High and then just dropped it. This book is so good. It's 470 pages. I rate it at 5 stars. This is Kai and Miller's story. I love Miller. I love Kai. I love Max. This is a single dad nanny romance. Kai is a MLB baseball player. He has a son. He is a single dad. In efforts to find someone, it was kind of like perfect timing because Miller came back to see her dad, Monty, who is the coach of Kai, and she just needed to figure out what to do with her life. And so her dad said, how perfect, we have an opening for a nanny. You love kids, kind of. Let's see if you can do it. It was so good. It is so well written. It is so cute. It is so funny. I laughed, I cried. I was highlighting so many parts of it. What a beautiful story of someone questioning their career and questioning if the accolades and the awards was enough to continue doing what you're doing if you didn't have your heart in it, if it didn't feel right, and if it transformed into something that it wasn't from the start and what you were passionate about. So good. I love this book so much. It brings joy to my heart, and also it was so deep as well. It's just such a well done romance, and I loved it. It really made my May. And then in June, I did not have a single 5-star read in June, but I did have a 4.75 star, which was Rewind It Back by Liz Tom 40. This is the last book in the Windy City series, and this book is 491 pages. Rio and Hallie's story, it's a second chance romance. They were together in high school, they split up and randomly saw each other again and ended up kind of being neighbors because she moved in next door to be a roommate for his next door neighbor. And she's an interior designer. He ends up hiring her before he even knows it's her. It's so good. It's so cute. I felt like I got the fun of a YA romance and also like the depth of a adult romance. It was so good. I love a second chance romance, and this really like hit the mark. The only reason I wasn't a 5-star, and I still vividly remember this, is that it took so long to tell us why they broke up. But other than that, amazing, loved it, and it is no surprise that 2 books from the Windy City series made my favorite books of the month. And then following up on this romance craze, I guess I was going on from May to July, I have Simply Mine by Laura Pavlov. This is a small town romance. It was 328 pages. I rated it 5 stars. So cute. I love the series. I actually made a reading vlog for the series, same as the Windy City series. This is about Charlotte and Ledger, and Ledger is Charlotte's best friend's brother, and they always had some sort of connection. They kind of acted on it, not really, and then moved on. And Ledger's back for Charlotte's best friend's wedding, and she's a maid of honor. He is the best man. And so they have a reason to be around each other more, and it kind of rekindles the feelings that they had years ago. And so they kind of spark up this connection with a time limit. And so they kind of are just enjoying it while they can, and then by the end they don't want it to be over. It's so cute. I loved it. It brought me a lot of comfort. I felt like I saw myself a lot in these characters, and I really just loved this book. And then in August, we have a thriller. So this is my first thriller that I'm talking about. This was The Butcher by Jennifer Hillier. This was 352 pages. I rated it 4.75 stars. And this is about a serial killer. So there was a serial killer named The Butcher, and The Butcher was caught 30 years ago by Edward Schenk. And now it's 30 years later, and Edward Schenk has a grandson who is moving into his house. And that grandson is dating a girl who is doing a piece on The Butcher. And she believes that The Butcher was never caught. So you follow Edward, his grandson, and the girlfriend who is writing the book about The Butcher. It is so good. It's so twisty. It is really engaging. I loved it from the start, and honestly, I just love a good serial killer thriller, and this one really hit that perfectly. The next book I have for September is This Woven Kingdom. This book is by Tahira Mafi. It is a fantasy book, and it was 495 pages. I rated it 4.5 stars. This book is about Alizé and Cameron is the crown prince of Ardunia, and Alizé is actually the heir to the Jinn kingdom. And in this world, there are the Jinn people and there are the clay people. The clay people are fully ruling the world, and there is not many Jinn left. And so she is hiding her identity because she does not want people to know that she is an heir to this kingdom. Cameron has a run-in with her when she's getting attacked by a street child, and ends up knowing that something is special about her. And so that's where the story starts. This book was so good. It was super engaging. I love the writing style. It was very beautifully written, and I really just enjoyed it. It was a nice way to kind of see if I still liked fantasy or if I just liked A Court of Thorns and Roses, and I definitely do. I love this book, and I need to get to the others in the series. And then for October, I have The Tenant by Frida McFadden. This book was 356 pages. I rated it 4.25 stars. I only read 2 books in this month, so there were definitely not many to choose from and no 5-star reads. However, The Tenant was really interesting. This book is about Krista and Blake, and Blake was so proud of himself owning a brownstone in New York and then ends up losing his job. And so over time, him and Krista decide it is time to get a tenant. And after they interview many people and many people come and they test out the waters, they realize that Whitney would be the perfect tenant. However, a lot goes awry, and Blake, honestly, with all the stuff he's dealing with his career, he really cannot deal with all the stuff that Whitney is putting him through. And so it is just a roller coaster of emotions. So much goes on. It's wild. I can still vividly remember a lot of things from this book, and they make my skin crawl. But it was really good and a very quick, easy to go into, easy to read thriller from Frida McFadden. And last for this video, because it is only the beginning of December, so I don't have a lot of books to choose from, so I'm ending it with November. And I read Looking for Jane by Heather Marshall in November, and wow, did I love this. It was 385 pages. I rated it 5 stars. I read it all in one day, and I really just loved it. It follows 3 different women and intertwines their story together in such a beautiful way. I have nothing but good things to say about it. It is just that beautifully done. It is about Evelyn, Angela, and Nancy, and they all have different stories, and somehow they lead to each other in some way. Evelyn is working as a doctor for the Jane Network, which gives safe abortions during times where it was illegal, and Nancy helps join that cause as well. And also Angela gets a letter that's addressed to Nancy to her family's antique shop. So they're all very intertwined, but also in such a beautiful, magical way. And I just really love this historical fiction book, and I have been recommending it every second of every day. I loved it, and I really can't wait to read more of Heather Marshall's books. And that's it. Those are all of my favorite books for each month. Honestly, there are definitely some highs and lows of my 2025 reading journey, but overall I read some really amazing books. So thanks for talking about them with me. I'm so excited that you're here for Bookmas. Please comment down below what your favorite books were for each month. I would love to hear what you've read this year, and I really hope that the books that you're reading are bringing you joy.